It's not been a bad week, has it, for Harry Maguire? He scored Manchester United's only goal in their 1-0 win over FC Copenhagen in the Champions League. And he also got the Man of the Match award in their 2-1 win over Sheffield United last weekend. That victory, though, over FC Copenhagen, of course, was on Tuesday night, Cass. And so much of the conversation now has been speaking about a redemption story then for Harry Maguire. Is that what you think it is?
Well, it's been a really good week off the back of Copenhagen and winning at Sheffield United. I think it's his 6th appearance of the season, Harry, so he's played a few games. I liked what Gabby had spoke about not moving. That, to me, is a standout feature of the whole thing of how he's gone, do you know what, I'm going to get my head down, going to play and train, do as well as I can. If an opportunity comes, I'll be well prepared. And I think that's a big testament to the way Harry Maguire's handled himself. I think that's been brilliant. Because of injury, he's got in and he's proved a point. But there's still lots of answers to questions at Manchester United. More, not just on Harry, on the team itself. Because they haven't drawn a game this season. They've played 13 games. They've won 7 and lost 6. Okay? So they're a very topsy-turvy team. I think out their last 5 or 6 victories, they've only won by the odd goal. They're not the 3-1, 4-0. They're not doing any of that. They're getting over the line.
Yeah, they're not comfortable wins.
They don't look comfortable either. They've struggled in their performance. So I think there's a lot of unanswered questions. I think Harry will still sit there because he needs, I think, a really big game against one of the rivals. And there's no perfect weekend, better weekend than this weekend because he's coming up against one of Europe's, if not Europe's, top goal scorer in Erling Haaland. What he's done over the last year or so has been astonishing. It's a big weekend because Erling Haaland, if he gets the wrong side, and look, you've got to defend a little bit deeper, you've got to be clever against him, but if he gets a one-on-one in a race, Erling Haaland will get him. He'll get past him. So it's a big weekend for show how good he can be and not get taken apart by a forward. OK, the service in front of him is important because United have got to stop that midfield getting on the ball, which they literally hog the ball. But once that ball's midfielder gets his head up and looks for a pass, if it gets to Haaland on a one-on-one, Harry could get in trouble. So it's a big weekend for him because this is obviously a derby in a very big football match. Also
a big week for Andre Onana when you consider, obviously, his start to his career at Manchester United. It hasn't been, again, a comfortable start. There have been rocky moments. But then again, in midweek, he saved a penalty. So another little redemption story for him. A very late injury time penalty for FC Copenhagen that he saved. So again, it's another little positive for them to take forward. These little performances for players that have been castigated, that have been criticised a lot. That's something that can gel a team together and think, look, this Manchester derby even, this is our time. This is our time to shine.
I didn't make the biggest deal out of getting stick because I've been there, I've had it and I've felt it. And if you're being judged on your performance, and there's been times in my career, and I've spoke about this, where I've played really poorly. And I always used to think, well, when I cross the white line is my only chance of proving people wrong. So I've never been that against, you can get booed or and sometimes it goes too far, it gets personal, and that's another level. But I do think there is justification on some of the stick because the levels, Onana's not played well. No. He's played really poorly for Man United. We're not talking about the goalkeeper's had a good week. Yeah, OK, saved a penalty. But again, huge question marks. I saw a lot of him in the Eredivisie. So I always was, do you know what? He gets beat too easily for me. But he was a young man at the time. So you always give the benefit of the doubt. Will he improve? Make big saves? He's struggled since he's come to England. And I think that's another question. There's loads of them at Man United. Sancho's an issue. That's a question. You've got Anthony. That's a huge question. Casemiro, what is... you could go for about 8 players at Man United.
Yeah. What do you make of the suggestions, reports, rumours that David De Gea could be returning?
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Why? No chance. Well, Ten Hag, he's made the call on the goalkeeper. He's made that call. So it'd be undermining him if he took him back. I just don't see that now. I don't see that being a realistic idea because I can't see that would sit comfortably for Ten Hag.
Even if it's just cover.
David De Gea be cover? I just can't imagine
he
it.
hasn't got a
I
club at the
don't know.
moment, so he's
maybe.
in
I
desperate states.
I can't see that. I can't see him being a Man United player again, especially if Ten Hag is there, because I just think it undermines him.